The wolf is still small. Its ribs show when it breathes. Its eyes are too big for its skull. Its teeth are barely worthy of fear. Odin looks at it anyway, and flinches. Chains clatter across stone. The sound echoes through Asgard like a verdict. The gods hesitate. This is not an enemy at the gate. This is a child. Another grandchild screams as she's dragged toward the sea. Her body writhes, half human, half serpent. The ocean waits with open jaws, and somewhere nearby, a girl, quiet, pale, already cold, feels the ground open beneath her feet. Hell is pushed into darkness before she understands what exile means. 3. Children. No crimes. No blood spilled. No rebellion. Only a prophecy. Odin doesn't look away. He orders it done. The All-Father, God of wisdom, breaker of giants, terrified of his own bloodline. This is the moment the future fractures. And by the end of this story, one truth will become unavoidable. Odin did not banish monsters. He banished possibilities. Stay, because fear wears many masks, and sometimes it looks like foresight.
Unveil the legends.
The setup. Before the chains, before the exile, before the sea swallowed screams, Asgard was stable, not peaceful. Stable. The gods knew their roles. Wars came and went. Enemies rose and fell. Fate loomed, but comfortably distant, like thunder on the horizon. And Odin sat at the center of it all, not calm, not content. Watching, Odin wasn't driven by cruelty. He was driven by patterns. He studied the future the way others study. Battlefields. He listened to whispers from wells that remembered the birth of time. He paid for knowledge in flesh and sleep and sanity. And the future whispered one word back. Ragnarok. Not a battle, an ending. Odin learned the names tied to it. Fenrir, Jörmungandr, Hel, his own grandchildren. Born of Loki, chaos wrapped in charm, and Angrboda, whose name meant she who brings. Grief. From the moment they were born, the prophecy followed them like a shadow. The wolf would kill Odin. The serpent would drown the world. The girl would rule the dead. Peace was impossible after that, because Odin did not believe fate could be avoided, only delayed. And delay to a god who measures time in centuries felt like control. Odin does not call it punishment. He calls it prevention. The decision is made in silence, not rage. No shouting, no thunder. Just the quiet scrape of destiny being rewritten by fearful hands. The first to be taken is the serpent, Jörmungandr. He is still young, his body slick and warm, his movements clumsy. He coils around pillars, curious, tasting the air with an innocent tongue. The gods avoid his eyes. Odin does not. Hand sees the child. The smell of salt rushes in as the sea opens below. No trial, no explanation. Odin lifts him once and throws. The splash echoes longer than it should. Next comes Hel. She walks without resisting. One side of her face is flushed with life, the other pale as bone. She has already learned not to ask questions gods don't want to answer. Odin gives her a realm and calls it mercy. She feels the cold before she sees it. The ground swallows her footsteps. Light does not follow. Then there is Fenrir. Volf plays at first. He thinks this is another test, another game. When the chains come out, he smells deceit. The metal hums with intent. The gods' fear leaks through their smiles. Fenrir breaks the first chain easily. The second snaps. Louder, laughter dies in the hall. The third binding is different, soft, weightless, impossible. Fenrir hesitates. Odin promises it will be removed. Tyr steps forward. Trust stands where logic fails. The chain tightens. Bone cracks. Fenrir's howl rips through Asgard not. A roar, but a sound of sudden understanding. This is not a test, this is a verdict. And Odin watches, unmoving, as the future begins to remember him. Here's the detail the myth hides behind poetry and prophecy. Odin didn't banish his grandchildren because they were evil. He banished them because they couldn't be managed. Look closely at the children themselves. Fenrir doesn't deceive. He doesn't manipulate. He doesn't plot. He grows. He trusts. He plays with the gods like oversized puppies play with fire, unaware of consequences, unaware of fear. Jörmungandr doesn't conquer. He expands. He fills the space he's given, nothing more, nothing less. Hell doesn't rebel. She accepts. She watches. She endures. These are not villains. They are constants, and constants terrify rulers. Odin thrives on exchange, knowledge for sacrifice, loyalty for protection, wisdom for obedience. Every relationship he understands has leverage built into it. But these children offer none. They cannot be bargained with. They cannot be bribed. They cannot be convinced to shrink. Prophecy didn't scare Odin because it predicted his death. It scared him because it predicted irrelevance. A future where his cunning fails, where foresight becomes useless, where no sacrifice buys survival. Ragnarok isn't frightening because Odin dies. He has faced death before. It's frightening because nothing he does can stop it. So Odin commits a quieter, uglier act. He criminalizes the future. He punishes beings not for what they've done, but for what they might become. He turns potential into guilt and calls it wisdom. This is the psychology of tyranny. Control masquerading as foresight. Violence disguised as prevention. By banishing the children early, Odin doesn't prevent the prophecy. He trains it. Isolation teaches Fenrir rage. Exile gives the serpent room to grow unchecked. Cold hardens hell into something merciless. The prophecy doesn't come true despite Odin's actions. It comes true because of them. And here's the darkest possibility of all. If Odin had chosen patience over paranoia, if he had trusted instead of restrained, Ragnarok might have remained a story that never found a stage. But Odin could not tolerate a future that didn't need him, so he destroyed it first. Time does what Odin never could. It grows. Fenrir's rage matures in chains, fed by betrayal and silence. Each year bound beneath the earth teaches him one lesson only. Mercy is a lie told by the powerful. When he finally breaks free, he does not hesitate. He remembers hands. He remembers voices. He remembers Odin. Jörmungandr coils wider with every tide. Thrown into the sea to be forgotten, he becomes impossible to ignore. His body circles the world, a living reminder that exile does not erase, it enlarges. And hell learns administration, order, cold balance. Odin thought giving her a realm was containment. Instead, he taught her how to rule suffering without flinching. When the dead march at Ragnarok, they do so with discipline. Odin watches all of this unfold, prepared, armed, still afraid, because preparation isn't controlled, and knowledge isn't salvation. The irony is brutal. Odin banished his grandchildren to escape fate, but fate learned their names because of him. He feared monsters, so he raised them carefully. He feared the end, so he built the road toward it. This myth survives because it speaks a truth no empire likes to admit. The future does not need villains to destroy us. It only needs leaders so afraid of losing power that they punish what they don't yet understand. Odin dies knowing everything, and understanding too late that fear, not fate, was the architect of Ragnarok. Here's the lesson, carved deep. The future doesn't destroy us. Our attempts to control it do. So ask yourself, were Odin's grandchildren monsters or victims of a prophecy no one questioned? Drop your answer below. And if this story disturbed you, it should. Because next time we're telling the myth Odin feared more than Ragnarok itself. A god who learned too much. A price that could not be paid. And the knowledge that made even Odin beg for ignorance. That story is already unfolding. Just out of sight.